Hello and welcome to Geekatplay Studio Tutorials. In this tutorials, we'll create another night kind of moon-like view, but we'll try to extend from our previous and create with more details and just explore more of View 8. So we'll go ahead and begin by creating terrain. Couple things when you start creating terrain, we have several options to create standard or fractal terrain, and depend on your project. Either of them can work, but most time when you create a static or a faraway preset, the standard will render much faster. The reason is why when using fractal or procedure terrain, the every render the view will recalculate terrain on the details, so it will try to produce the better quality, and as usual it's take a little bit longer time than your normal. So let's go ahead, right click and go edit object. Okay, couple things. If you notice in View 8, if you're using, you have a new terrain editor, and if you're interested you can check our discovering View 8 tutorials where we look on new features for View 8, also on an upcoming new feature for View 8 tutorials. As usual, you begin with some spectral lighting with some reflection. If you want it, you can disable by checking this box. That's what happened here. And in some video cards, it will actually speed up a little bit preview on your screen. For this tutorial, I don't need it, so I like to uncheck. Next, what we're going to do, it is zoom a little bit out. Go ahead, select our picker tools right here. By doing this, we need to select altitude first. Click picker tool and just select maybe around this area. And next you can start painting, and you notice now what is nice, when you start painting it will increase or decrease to this altitude. Of course we need to go ahead, increase size of our brush. And what I'm doing, I'm just try to create a little bit more flatter area for our middle island. Okay, one thing I was really impressed how View 8 now work a little bit more with editor. It's much more gentle and it's not very sharp how it's applying, so it give it much more realistic details on the terrain when you start using your painting tool. So at least it was my experience. Okay, when we're done, let's go ahead, click OK on this. We'll just zoom a little bit out and place it on the background. As well, let's change render to screen. We'll go 640, and we also switch to widescreen. Okay, let's go ahead, preview. So here's our image we created. Kind of beginning, it will be our small island in a lake. Let's add water. By adding layer with the water at this point, it's help us to position camera a little bit in a way I want it. So we'll go ahead, take our camera and just move it about 2/3. Again, if you have a problem with kind of set size on your screen, you always can go ahead to your display options, go to frame guides, and inside the frame guides you can enable we can disable this one and enable grid. So what grid does help, right here you can see lines now enable, and it's help us take our camera and position for about 1/3 screens. It just make a view a little bit more balance in our image, so the layout properly. Okay, next I'm kind of start in this one. We'll start work with atmosphere actually more on this point, not on the end as we usually do. And the reason is why I want have the right coloring and some reflection. So in the lighting in this case will give it us kind of better look. So let's place our sun a little bit on the side. We'll go to atmosphere editing on this point. Okay. Okay, we'll probably Just let's make sun a little bit more lower on a point right here. Okay, we'll go ahead and maybe just move it slightly this way as well. I want to probably take it and move our sun and our corona to the 0. Okay, let's go to our light hub. One thing, I will switch to global illumination. You can try radiosity, but as usual on the scenery, radiosity won't bring any more details except it will increase render time. Okay, let's go pop up to our sunlight a bit more, and I like to switch our ambient light more towards kind of darker, desaturated coloring. Okay, let's go to our clouds. And inside clouds, we'll go ahead and add dark canvas clouds. Okay, we'll leave it all scale default except altitude. Let's drop altitude to 0. So I want it to go right here. You can see in preview when you can look. It's actually beginning from the ground from right here. So it will be, don't have these points. Okay, lines. So we're kind of removing the light line. Okay, also let's shrink a little bit down. And what we're doing, height, right here, if you notice, height is height of this cloud layer. So what we've done right here, by decreasing height, it's shrinking a little bit down. So it won't be that tall. Okay, as well, let's go and reduce cover. The reason by reducing cover, I want to have it a little bit peak on a background. Okay, our density, let's pop up density all the way, as well as opacity. Okay, we'll give it sharpness maybe around the same way. Take feathers all the way down and pop up details all the way up. So it will give it us nice clouds, nice details. Okay, increase. And we'll just leave it as default at this point. Okay, let's go to our sky and fog. What I'm going to do here, it is take our ground density. Let's see what we have it. Yeah, maybe around 6. We'll go ahead and dump this one down. We preview a bit more. Oops. Again, just slightly adjusting so I have it darker. Okay. One thing what I want to do, it is actually, let's change work on decay for now. So I'll go ahead, increase decay, but at the same time, because we decrease our sky in altitude, I want to drop this down as well. So we'll just put a little bit below. On that case, we still have a nice coloring, but due decreasing sky mean that one need to be going down. So we don't have it overwhelm red in this scenery. You know what? Let's modify a little bit our color for our sky. And what I'm going to do, it's maybe using a little bit greenish sky to bring here. As well, we'll take our decay color, move more to the blue. So what I'm trying right now, replicate kind of moonish night look, maybe something around that. Okay, our haze maybe drop down a little bit more. So we have more details on the clouds. Leave it this as default. Let's just decrease just slightly here. 14 maybe putting around. Let me see. And this one around 90. So we don't have a darker on the sky. Okay. Let me see, 10. Maybe we need to pop up this up to 50. This will give it us all this aerial perspective. And we'll come back when we need to pop up a little bit quality. Till we here, let's disable our wind. Okay, and as well, I want to create night light, so we'll enable stars. I don't want twinkle. And we'll just a little bit look brightness. Okay, So let's go right here and let's preview. So here we have at our beginning. I will come back to tweak a little bit more with the sky because I want a little bit darker. It does give it interesting colors, this, but just rework a little bit more, maybe bluish. Again, we'll come back to this. Okay, at that point, let's go ahead and save our work. Okay, one thing I recommend you save and save in increments. Maybe name step one, step two, step three. In this case, you can come back and maybe play with settings, but without losing them. If you think, oh, my other version was better when I go, so in that case, you have a different version. So it does help. Okay, and we'll go ahead and in the next part we'll start working on the setting terrain with the plants and other stuff.